Are the new Schecter Sunset Triad guitars with the triple coil Tripocalypse pickups all hype or worth looking into? Let's find out in this video, but first, some heavy music with this guitar. Check it out. Hey guys, John here from Sonic Drive Studio. I hope you're all doing well and welcome back to the channel. I hope you enjoyed that first demo with this guitar, the Schecter Sunset-7 Triad, through my XFX3 with the DUS Metal amp model. And that was position 1 on the 5-way selector switch, by the way, which is the normal humbucker mode of this guitar with the first 2 coils enabled. Sounded really amazing. More on the triple coil in a minute because I know that you guys want to hear about that. In this video, I'm going to give you my honest thoughts and opinions on this guitar and also do a walkthrough on all the features that this guitar has to offer and just look at what this guitar is all about. So a couple months ago, Schecter announced these guitars on the internet and everybody was talking about them basically. Triple coil humbuckers aren't things that we see often in modern guitars. And immediately I was very intrigued because I like trying new things. I also really appreciate it when guitar companies try new things and try to be innovative. Now, to be fair, the triple humbucker is not something that is very new. It has been done before in the past sometimes, but still, I haven't really seen it in a modern guitar like this with modern features. So I like the concept at first glance. Anyway, so I knew that I wanted to feature one of these guitars on the channel. So immediately I contacted my local Schecter guy, David, to see if we could get one on the channel. And he made sure that Schecter sent me this guitar for this video, but I also get to keep this guitar just to be transparent with you guys. But yeah, I'm very stoked about that, obviously, but I'm not getting paid any money for this video, okay? And as per usual, all thoughts and opinions are 100% my own. Now, there are 2 versions of the Sunset Triad. There is the 6-string version and the 7-string version, which I have over here, and it's a baritone 7-string to be precise. I like baritone guitars, I like 7 strings, so this model was the obvious choice for me. Now, in terms of the build and the construction, I wasn't really expecting to be blown away, to be honest. After all, this is the first Indonesian-made Schecter guitar that I've ever tried, and it also has a bolt-on neck construction. Normally, what I like to use is guitars with a neck-through design or a set neck design. Not that bolt-on guitars are bad or anything like that, it's all about personal preference. However, when I took this guitar out of the box, I was immediately very impressed by this guitar. And let me explain why while I go over all the features of this guitar. So we have a simple gloss black finish on this guitar on the body, as well as on the top of the headstock here. It's definitely not the most adventurous finish, but it does always work and it's a kind of safe finish, so I can see why Schecter went with this finish, at least for the first run of these models. Maybe they'll be more adventurous with future models, we'll see. But yeah, black always works for that modern metal look, and it does look very simple, stealthy, and sort of elegant. The body wood is Nyato, which is a wood that I'm not really familiar with, but as far as I'm aware, it's a kind of alternative to mahogany, and to be honest, the body sounds great. It's very nice and resonant. And that's a quality that I always look for in a guitar, so that makes me happy. And the body is also quite light. It's not a heavy guitar at all, but it still is very nicely balanced. There is no neck dive, so that's cool. Now the design of the body is also very sleek and very comfortable. It's not a very fat guitar, and it also has these very nice bevels. So over here, as well as on the back here, and a little bevel here as well for your lap, and a nice cutaway over here for the access on the higher frets. So it's a very ergonomic guitar, and it feels very comfortable on your lap. It's a great guitar to play. Normally I tend to prefer guitars that are a little bit more bulky and thick and heavy, but I must admit that with this guitar I'm quite pleased with how it feels and the weight of it and the sound of the body wood as well. Now this guitar has a bolt-on neck, as I mentioned. It's a 5-piece neck made out of maple and rosewood. And the neck profile on this guitar is the ultra thin C shape, and I must say that it feels very comfortable to play. It's a very fast neck, and it's also quite thin. So it feels very sleek in the hands and very fast. Great for riffing, but also great for playing leads and clean picking and stuff like that. Great for anything, basically. This guitar has an ebony fretboard with these offset metal ring inlays. They look cool. They look simple and just very functional and quite basic and elegant. The quality of the ebony itself looks to be very good. The wood looks great. It feels great as well. And the color is nice as well. So quality woods were used throughout this guitar. Now this guitar also has 24 extra jumbo stainless steel frets, so that's also a nice feature. They do feel very smooth when you're bending, and I must say that the frets have been perfectly leveled. When I first took this guitar out of the box and started playing, I was immediately blown away by the low action without fret buzz. I mean, the action was incredibly low. Not to mention that the guitar was perfectly in tune as well, quite crazy. But yeah, the action was so stupid low, I even had to raise it a little bit, and I'm somebody who likes low action. So the frets were perfectly leveled, perfectly. I'm really impressed by that because that's not something that is very common with guitars in this price range. So because of the quality of the frets and how smooth they feel, and also the thinness of the neck, it's an extremely comfortable guitar to play. Really impressive. I believe this guitar has a Graphtec nut, I'm not entirely sure, but it's cut really well. And this guitar also has Schecter locking tuners, so that's a great feature. I have this guitar strung up with elixirs, a set of 9s for the bottom 6 tuned to E flat, so 1/2 step down, and then a .68 for the low A flat, so it's basically tuned to drop A flat, which is one of my favorite 7-string or baritone 7-string tunings. And of course, the 27-inch baritone skill also really helps with that tuning. It's great for the clarity of those low notes. The hardtail bridge of this guitar is Schecter's own design, but it does look very similar to the old Hipshot bridge. But yeah, a very solid bridge, definitely. And then in terms of controls, we have a single volume control and a single tone control, as well as this 5-way selector switch. More on that in a second. And then finally, the stars of the show, the pickups. So these are Schecter USA pickups, and in the bridge position, we have the Tri-Apocalypse triple coil pickup, and in the neck position, the Apocalypse single coil pickup. But this guitar is actually capable of a lot of cool and unique and useful tones because of this setup. So this setup offers more than meets the eye. Let's explore the positions of the 5-way selector switch. In position 1, the first 2 coils are on as a traditional humbucker. You also got to hear this tone in the intro of the video. It sounds great. There's a lot of clarity and punch and plenty of dynamics, but it is still a loud sounding pickup. In position 2, you get all 3 coils together for that true triple humbucker Tri-Apocalypse sound, and it definitely increases the output of the pickup a little bit. And it also makes the sound a bit more beefy and dark. So very loud and chunky indeed. So for clarity and dynamics, I would use the first position, and for that ultimate loud chunk, I would use the second position. Or you could use that for solo leads, so basically use this as a sort of boost and to fatten up the tone a little bit. That could work really well. Position 3 is just the third coil of the triple coil pickup by itself for a nice spanky single coil tone. Position 4 offers the third pickup on its own in parallel with the neck pickup, so that's also great for clean tones. And position 5 is just the single coil neck pickup by itself. So with the single coil positions on this guitar, as well as the parallel setting, I was able to get some really inspiring clean tones, especially on the 4th position, which is my favorite position on this guitar for clean tones. It inspired me to write some really cool sort of 80s inspired parts, so we're going to take a listen to that right now. Again with the guitar through my Axe-Fx 3, this time through a Bassman amp model with a compressor up front and some chorus after the amplifier and some reverb, some Helix native reverb added in post. Okay, let's go ahead and take a listen. Check it out. Wow, what a beautiful clean tone indeed. So as you could hear, this guitar offers so much more than just heavy metal tones. It's indeed a very versatile guitar. Now in the intro track of this video, as I said, you got to hear this guitar on position 1. So that's the traditional normal humbucker tone. But now I also want to take a listen to how it sounds on position 2. So with this entire pickup enabled, so with all 3 coils as the triple humbucker sound. And today what I'm going to do is just play some rhythm guitar on that, which is what I love to do. That's my primary playing style, and it's going to have a lot of oomph and power, as you'll hear. So again, position 2 with the entire Tripocalypse pickup through the same preset as before, so with the dust metal amplifier, but this time with a little bit less gain, just to compensate for the added output. Let's go ahead and check it out right now. Enjoy. Yeah, so that sounded huge and fat indeed. So that triple coil pickup sound definitely is usable. It's just basically a different flavor of humbucker tone that this guitar offers. So that's kind of cool. I like having that option, that extra beefy humbucker tone next to the more traditional humbucker tone. Not to mention all the other tones that this guitar offers with the single coil pickup sounds. So I don't think that the triple coil pickup is a gimmick at all. I think that it offers very useful tones indeed, as you heard. And even if you don't like that triple coil humbucker sound, you could also use this guitar just simply with the two first coils as a traditional humbucker in combination with the single coil tones. But if you do like that triple coil sound, it's there if you need it. Now what I'll do is give you a run through of all the settings that this guitar has to offer, starting with a quick clean tone and then a dirty tone as well. Let's take a listen. So what are my thoughts on this guitar? Well, as I said, I wasn't expecting to be blown away. I was just very intrigued by the triple coil pickup. But honestly, I ended up being very impressed with this guitar in terms of the sound, in terms of the versatility, but also in terms of how well this guitar is constructed and at how smoothly and fast it plays. It's a joy to play. It truly is. So it's a great guitar for metal and the heavy stuff, but it's also very versatile. You can get some amazing tones out of this thing, very stratty tones, very beautiful clean tones and stuff like that. So it's not just a metal guitar. But of course, you can obviously use this for the heavy stuff, as you heard. But yeah, it's just a beautifully well-made guitar, and once again, I'm very impressed by the quality that Schecter is putting out. Now, this guitar does have a couple of things that are less than ideal perhaps, and I do want to point them out. Firstly, this guitar is a little bit more noisy than my other guitars, especially when it comes to the ground noise is what I'm talking about. And that's the type of noise that sort of goes away a little bit when you touch the metal of the guitar. It was a little bit more evident on this guitar than my other humbucker equipped guitars. I don't know why, but maybe it has to do with the unique electronics of this guitar with this Tripocalypse pickup, or maybe it has to do with the shielding of this guitar. I'm not sure. It's not a huge deal, and the difference isn't huge between this and other guitars. It's just a little bit more noisy, but of course a noise gate can help with that. Also, if you buy this guitar, make sure that you like the sound of this pickup, because it's not going to be easy to find a replacement. In fact, I'm not aware of any brands that make these triple coil pickups, so that's definitely also something to keep in mind. And it's also a very loud guitar, so you're going to have to adjust the input gain on your interface or your modeler in order for this guitar not to clip your input. So those are all things to keep in mind, okay? So do I love this guitar? Absolutely. Again, I am once again blown away by the quality that Schecter Guitars is putting out. Really cool. Thanks to the folks at Schecter Guitars for sending this guitar over to me. I really appreciate it. And also massive thanks to my guy David for hooking me up. Much appreciated. So, is the triple coil pickup all hype and all gimmick? Or is it actually cool and useful? Absolutely. It's awesome. And this guitar offers so much more than meets the eye. That's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the like and subscribe buttons down below, as that really helps the channel out. I'd hugely appreciate it. And also let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts are on this guitar. Okay guys, that's all for now. Hope to see you soon. Cheers.